Good afternoon. Arguably, Harford County has never seen a case or defendant more deserving of every single day of the maximum sentence this court imposed today. This has been a long and grueling process for Rachel's family, and it is our hope that this sentence provides some sense of justice as they close this chapter and move forward in their grief and toward healing. Nothing will ever bring Rachel back to them or restore their lives to what they were before this immense tragedy. But hopefully, knowing this monster will spend every single day of the rest of his life behind bars will give them some peace as they move forward into the next chapter of their family story. My wish for this family and Rachel's children is that they believe we gave them some sense of justice for the loss of Rachel, and that they continue to honor her memory and her legacy in everything they do for the remainder of their lives. At this point, I'll take any questions you guys may have.
I just noticed Marcus Espinosa with News Nation during this day when you were up there, you seemed emotional as well. Can you talk about what specifically was striking you and what this day means for all the work you guys have done the past 2 years and for the Morin family?
Sure. So obviously throughout the life of this case, I have built relationships with the entire Morin family, especially the children. I think that was the hardest part for me, is what they have had to live through and what they're going to miss with their mom, for all the years to come. So I think that was the most challenging part emotionally for me, was their victim impact statements and how this has really affected them. But this has obviously been an immense amount of work for both the sheriff's office and for our office, and we're just glad today. Everything we have done has been to bring justice for Rachel and for her family and her children. So we're just glad today that justice was served and that everything went the way it should have.
One more for the mother and everybody involved. What can you say as far as her strength today to be able to get up there and read a statement in person? And then I think everybody could agree when the children's statements were either played out loud or a statement was read, that there was not a dry eye in that room.
Sure. Obviously, as a mother myself, I can't imagine standing up and doing what Miss Morin did today to have to talk about the loss of her child. So she obviously showed incredible strength today, but it was important, I think, for Judge Curtin to hear from her about what this case has meant for her and for her family, and what she has had to live through at the hands of this defendant. So after reading the evaluation by Dr. Witzak, I wasn't really surprised. It seems that he behaved similarly during her evaluation. That's how he's been throughout all of this. He has no emotion for what he did, and as she said, he's shown no sympathy, no empathy, no any emotion for what this family has been through and for what he did to Rachel. No, he wouldn't be deported until after he served his sentence. And that's because our judges don't have authority to incarcerate anyone in any jails except for the Maryland Department of Correction. So he'll have to serve his sentence, and he will spend the rest of his life there. So I don't believe there'll be any deportation, because it seems to me he's going to die in our prison system.
And is there any opportunity for an appeal at this point, or is that hard?
So everyone has a right to appeal their case. If he appeals it, it would be limited to the legal issues that he thinks there were in this trial. As I said after the trial, I'm confident in the ruling Judge Curtin made, and she always gives sound legal basis on the record. So, he will probably file one, but I'm not concerned about the results of that.
I've been to a lot of sentencing hearings, but never one where 3 children recorded their voices, and then that audio was played in court. Quite touching. They were really young. Can you speak to that at all? Even if you speak to it as a mother yourself, as you said.
Sure. So I felt it was important for them to give their victim impact statements, for it to come from their voices. It's their statement, they're their feelings. So when I spoke with them about their victim impact statement, obviously being in court as children, it's too much for them. Even Faye, who's an adult, had difficulty with coming today because it's just too much. So my suggestion for them when they wrote their statements was to record it so that the judge could hear it from them. And to me, that was what was most important and most impactful. No, because that phone was seized from him in Tulsa, Oklahoma, so we have no jurisdiction to prosecute those crimes.
What message do you hope this sends for this type of violent crime? The fact that, perhaps maybe he felt he got away with it because it took 10 months, and then now he's spending the rest of his life in prison.
So I think in sentencing, I talked about the general deterrence and the specific deterrence here, and that's twofold. One, the message to our community that we are not going to tolerate this type of crime in our community, and understanding that if you commit this kind of crime here, this shook our entire community. The Mom and Pop Trail is a beloved place in this community, and he took that not just from Rachel and her children, but from our entire community at times. So the message to the community is that we're not going to tolerate that here, and again, the outcome will be swift and certain. As I said, after the trial, you will be apprehended, you will be prosecuted, and you'll be sentenced to the maximum that we can give you. As to him and his individual deterrence, as I said, there's no sentence that's going to deter him. The only way we deter him from committing crimes is to keep him locked up until he is not living anymore. Any other questions? All right, thank you all.
Alice, I'm not going to go. I'm not going back there.